Basically, I'm prepared for this fight better than I've ever prepared for a fight in my entire career. Mentally and physically, I'm ready.
That's why I'm afraid. That's why I wanted to call a fight off. That's why I would call a fight off if I could now. Because I'm going into unknown territory. The 43 fights I've had in the past, I've always known what I was dealing with. I don't know what I'm dealing with tonight. I'm fighting someone who's mechanically orientated, and that is just an unknown area. It's not fair that I should be put in this situation.
He's 30 years old. He regards this fight as his gateway to millions. Some people say all this is over the top. It is literally there. But I think, quite honestly, the punters expect it and like it.
Now, there is no standing any count. Avoid any controversy. If either fighter is in trouble and you do not want me to stop the bout, you must show me clearly that you can continue. No matter what happens out here, it's strictly professional. Good luck to the boss.
They touch gloves. The referee is Ron Lipton, who used to spar with Muhammad Ali. He's a big friend of Reuben Hurricane Carter and worked hard for his release and pardon. Two Puerto Rican judges plus Britain's Roy Francis. Will they be called upon? What kind of Steve Collins are we going to see here? Round one. Due to go 12 rounds, of course. Collins, it's reckoned he'd be best as the cagey counter-puncher, but straight away he wades in with the left hook. Eubank visibly disconcerted by the strange build-up to this fight over the last 24 hours. But coming off one of the best performances of his career against Henry Wharton last time. Collins says, if you want to know my tactics, I'll hit him, and when he goes to hit me back, I won't be there. Watch the head, says the referee. It's fascinating game, this one, isn't it?
It certainly is a fascinating contest.
Make no mistake about it, Collins has a world-class pedigree. He holds the WBO middleweight championship. Really letting go with the punches. Eubank was having none of that. He took the necessary evasive action. Collins is moving up from middleweight to super middleweight. He should be comfortable enough, though, at the new weight, because he was always a bit tight at 11 stone 6. But Eubank may well have an edge in power, and Collins will be ill-advised, you would think, to try and trade with him.
And not much posturing from Eubank in the first round. He's trying to get off with that left jab to the body.
Eubank, you saw the interview beforehand saying, I'm not quite sure what's going to be in front of me here tonight. Good left jab from Eubank, rather dived into it. Collins comes back, scores with a left hook of his own. Lunging in with the punches. Collins with a shamrock shaved into his hairstyle. And this, the night after St. Patrick's Night in Ireland. The atmosphere here rather like those Barry McGuigan fight nights in the King's Hall in Belfast. It's that passionate.
Collins comes straight back with punches every time Eubank leads.
Right hand counter from Collins worked for him. Eubank thought he was hit a bit low. Collins has had a tendency to cut up in some of his fights. I wonder if that just might be a factor here as well. And Eubank was cut a couple of times last year too. Eubank, who has this tendency to do just enough to win. Cagey opening round. Can't quite hear what Tony Quinn was saying in that corner. Eubank, only Ronnie Davis will be talking to him. And who's been by his side throughout his incredible reign. Not much in that opening round. Oh, right hand, and Collins. Is that counted as a knockdown? No, it's not.
Collins jumped up and shouted, no knockdown. But it did seem to be a glance of a right hand that caught.
Something of a chess match in there, because both of them are happier counter-punching. Good right uppercut inside from Eubank. And just listen to the roars from the Irish crowd when Collins comes forward like that.
He tried to get a few shots off there, Collins, but none of them landed cleanly.
Eubank missed with his left lead, hence the maul. Well, I just wondered, after all the build-up to this, whether Collins would be like a bull at a gate, but he looks quite controlled, doesn't he?
He certainly does.
Didn't land with that. The crowd at the back of the hall thought he did. It only hit the glove of Eubank. But those punches from Collins do get through. 3 or 4 of them. He's beginning to settle into his rhythm, Collins, here.
He is. He's getting off with shots first, and he's countering well.
Just doing that bit more than Eubank in this second round, Collins. And finding the range with the jab very well indeed.
Yes, that jab's working well.
Right hand from Collins, got through as well. Eubank just looking a shade disorganised. I wonder if we're going to have another one of those close and highly debatable points decisions at the end of all this again. It's early yet, though, of course.
Because I just feel Collins is getting off with a few more shots in this round.
It's been a good round, this, for the Irishman. Eubank with a body shot on the bow, but I think that might have been Collins's round. Such was the build-up to this fight that there were 3,000 people at the weigh-in. You've never seen scenes like it. This is the third. Eubank often starts slowly and finishes strongly in his fights. Two world champions in there.
And they both look like they've prepared very well, very, very sharp, both boys.
Collins, who believes he has this extra punch power now, and looking to use it. His belief in victory was utterly complete. Collins, first off again, no counter from Eubank.
Still a bit like a chess match in these early moments, but I think Collins is making the better moves.
Often the problem that Eubank has had when things have got a bit tight for him is that his work rate simply hasn't been good enough, but that was a very, very good left uppercut from him. Picked that punch beautifully. Collins, though, is very, very resilient. He's never been stopped in his 31 contests. Combination from Collins.
And a good right hand. He's getting through with good shots, and Eubank calling him in.
Collins looking to tee off with the right hand. And Eubank just looking a shade disorganised there for a moment. Collins drives the right hand through. He's had a very good second half of this third round. There's no doubt about it. It's been an impressive start from the Irish challenger.
Yes, a very good start. He just landed there with a good little right hand counter.
Work your way out. Work your way out.
Collins in his 4th World Championship fight, Eubank in his 20th. Punch just landed on the gloves, and Collins only lost his balance. He wasn't shaken up by that. Splendid start by Steve Collins, and this is some of his better work in round 3.
Yes, he's getting off with good shots, and he's the busier inside.
Collins is tend to just lunge a little bit when he comes forward, but so far Eubank hasn't made him pay for that with the counters. Will Eubank just step up the gears a little? Collins is busy, busy, busy.
Again, Collins lunges in, but Eubank doesn't make him pay.
Collins with huge support here. His wife, his mother among them. Left was a good punch from Eubank. The counter came in that time, all right. Bit wild by Collins. But he's only got to take a forward step to get this crowd going, and then he just had a little word with Eubank in there and kind of leered at him for a moment. Right hand, good shot, Collins. Two technically accomplished operators in there. Is Collins getting it right strategically so far, Glenn?
Yes, I think he's doing a very good job. He's countering very well. And yet when he makes Eubank miss, he's going after him well and just getting the best of them little flurries.
Better from Eubank, good jab. And he just shook his head at Collins as if to say, I made you miss with those, all right. And he made him miss 4, 5, 6 times there in succession. Better round for Eubank. The jab catching Collins off balance, that was all. Not hurt by it. That was the second time that's happened.
I think Eubank may just have stepped on his foot a little bit there to push him off balance. Unintentionally.
More elusive in this round, Eubank.
Yes, his defense has been a lot better.
Three, 4 punches, round home by Collins. It was an elbow, I think, that made contact with Collins. That's why he winced a little bit.
He comes straight back with a couple of good jabs.
End of the 4th round. And Eubank did better in that 4th round, I think.
Yes, I think he was happy with that round. His defense was certainly better. Collins didn't get through with the shots that he wanted to.
When you take it to the ropes,
Well, Collins has made a good start, but Eubank had his best round yet, I think, in that 4th round. He was harder to hit and did catch Collins with 1 or 2 counters.
that'll work. All right, that'll work.
Ronnie Davis, the former Southern Area champion, in the corner, has this love-hate relationship with Eubank. This is the 5th, due to go 12, of course. A decent right-hand body punch from Eubank in that exchange. He gets through with the right hand as well. It's be interesting to see what effect it might have on Collins when Eubank lets go with his heavier artillery, if he manages to do that.
Eubank was picking his punches well there, but Collins landed with a very good right hand.
It's cat and mouse, isn't it? Counter punches fight.
It certainly is, like a chess game.
Times both waiting for the other to lead off and look for the counter. Collins, who's fought 19 times in the USA, against only 3 times in Ireland, but you'd never know that from the kind of support he's getting here from this 8,000 crowd crammed into this Mill Street Arena. Oh, right hand was a good one from Collins. Short, clubbing punch. Watch the use of the knee there, I think the referee was saying to Eubank. Brought his knee up in that exchange. Collins gets through again, he's fast.
Very good shots, eh? He did seem to hurt Eubank a little bit there with them punches.
Collins having another good round there. Referee unhappy about use of the head by Collins. And the right hand was an excellent punch with great hand speed from Collins on the counter. He looks a man in control at the moment, Collins. That was low, but not too damaging from Collins.
Yes, this is a good part of the fight for Collins. He's getting his shots off well. He just seems to be the faster, and his shots are landing.
Has Eubank got the answers here? We're going to find out. Plot thickening.
There's some good shots from Collins. He got through very well there with the left, right, and the left again, putting his shot together well. And it just seemed to hurt Eubank slightly there.
Collins boxed quite beautifully in that 5th round. Now the 6th. Eubank looked for the fast start, but Collins had an immediate riposte.
Good right hand from Eubank there. He's got to do something a bit special. He's got to take the play away from Collins in this round, I feel.
He does have that capacity, doesn't he, to find an extra gear, though, in his fights. And it'll be interesting to see whether he can manage to do that here. Collins feels he's been ignored for too long, left on the fringes of things. He wants to break into the big money. He says boxing's the only way he knows how to provide a decent living for his wife and 3 children. And he's letting it all flow out here on this, the biggest fight night of his life. Again, a terrific right hand from Collins. Tell you what, Eubank has got some real problems in there.
He certainly is. Collins just getting his shots off that shade quicker. Better work inside there from Collins as well.
Any thoughts that Collins' head might have been messed up by the clinical hypnosis? I think you can put those to one side. He looks very controlled, and he's boxing quite superbly to his fight plan at the moment.
Yes, last night he seemed a little bit out of control, but tonight he's very much in control.
I think focused is the in word, isn't it? Tremendous noise reverberates around the arena. Collins there, just saying he was hit round the back of the head and gave a kind of little mock clap to Eubank as if to say, not impressed. Sharp work from the champion, though.
Yes, he called him in there and threw a right uppercut to the body.
And then that right over the top, too. Eubank will definitely have to step up the work rate. Signs that he may just be beginning to do that in this 6th round. This is a better round for him. He needed a big round too. It's not been a big one, but it's been a better one. Coming up to the halfway point, and right with the bell approaching. 3 punches, ram home from Collins. This is the 7th. All still very much on the line here, but try telling these Irish fans that Collins isn't winning this fight, but it's not they who will decide. Collins wishes it was. A bit low from Collins, the jab.
Watch the elbow, please. Watch the elbow. Sorry. Okay. Watch that.
Eubank throwing that big right hand from the floor. Collins easily got out of the way of it.
For Eubank, this is his 5th fight in 8 months. You just wonder sometimes, can he carry on being superhuman, keep going back to the well time and time again to defend his title? Or is there a point where he just becomes a bit jaded? He looked jaded last autumn, but then came back with that great performance against Wharton. But this is another very, very stiff test. Collins is a tough, hard, battle-hardened fighter. Good counter from Eubank. The old cat and mouse game, and terrific reflexes as well from him that time in making Collins miss, and just making Collins look a little ragged in that exchange.
But I think Collins just doing a little bit more in this round. That was better jabs from Eubank.
Watch your head.
Really is fascinatingly poised, this.
You feel one good punch could sway this fight one way or the other.
Eubank does have this tremendous chin though, doesn't he? Been through those trench warfare type battles. in the past with Nigel Benn, the tragic fight with Michael Watson.
That's right, but Collins' chin has never let him down either.
Eubank clinches the air at the end of that round. I think that one was a debatable round, but I think you gave it to Collins, Glenn.
I did. I just thought he threw more shots. A lot of them missed, but I thought he landed with more than Eubank did.
That's Glenn's scorecard. Collins 2 rounds up into the 8th round. Eubank, we think, with some work to do. Right-hand counter from Collins. There's been a lot of betting on him in Ireland today. His odds have been cut from 5-2 to 6-4 by some bookmakers, Steve Collins. And that is quite a lot of money. I don't know whether the Irishmen are chasing their losses from Cheltenham. Those of them who did lose, of course. Big chance of Steve-O rolling round this arena. A suspicion, yet again, and we've said it in so many Eubank fights, that he has to do a wee bit more work.
He certainly does. He has to pick his fight up a little bit more.
Do you get the impression that he thinks he's doing enough here? I think he might be mistaken.
I thought at the end of that round he maybe did, but I'm sure he is mistaken. Again, Collins have good successes there, letting more shots go.
Eubank fights are notoriously difficult to score.
And this one's certainly no exception.
Getting to that stage of the contest, or getting on towards it, where desire plays a huge part, and Eubank has passed that test often enough, and there surely can be no doubting Collins' desire here. Missed with those, really, Collins.
I feel Eubank's got to pick it up. He's got to try and do something big in one of these rounds. I just feel he's slightly getting outworked by Collins.
It's lunging a bit, and Eubank goes onto the floor, and he's down. Body punch, only the 4th time in his career. Eubank will get an 8 count. Crucial breakthrough in the right hand, crashes through as well. Eubank's in trouble here. Well, Collins said he had the extra punch power, and Eubank comes back in terrific style. And what a round this is. Look at Eubank. Suddenly come back with an answer. He's been stung by that. It was the first time he's been down since 1991, Eubank.
He complained to the referee that it wasn't a knockdown, but looking at it there, it certainly was.
Now, do you score that a 10-8 round for Collins with the knockdown?
Well, I think with a knockdown it has to be. He came back very well there. Good right hand, seemed to hurt Collins, but I think Eubank has it all to do now.
It looks like it, doesn't it? Now, what is his answer to this crisis, Chris Eubank? Round 9. Collins, we think, is ahead. And now Eubank may be prepared to really gamble. We know that he can land some big punches, and he packs a real whack. But Collins has got a great chin. He's proved that time and time again, going the distance with Mike McCallum, among others. Mike McCallum, one of the greatest fighters of the modern era. Ninth round. This is the round in which Eubank stopped Nigel Benn in their famous fight in Birmingham. But Collins shows no signs of letting up the pressure, and he's getting through again. Is Eubank's title slipping away here?
Good moments again from Collins. Eubank has to do something special. He's got to pull a big one out, and he's trying with that right hand.
Key phase of the fight now. Collins seemingly with the points lead and with the knockdown. Can Eubank turn things around? Can he turn the fight on its head? He's been caught again. Good, accurate work. And the Irish crowd, a lot of them were on their feet as those punches got through. They're going to lift the roof off this place, I tell you, if Collins takes Eubank's title away. And that, at the moment, is more than a possibility. Breathing a little heavier too, Eubank.
He is confidence flowing from Steve Collins. Got a spring in his step now.
Well, don't say Steve Collins didn't tell you he was going to put on a really sensational performance tonight. But things could still change. One punch could turn this all around. Oh, down goes Eubank again at this time. Only a slip. Only a slip. Eubank just shakes his head.
But Eubank looks tired. His hands are down and he's taking deep breaths.
Chris Eubank is in serious trouble here. The right hand punch from him was a good one, but he needs a lot more of that. Oh, crashing left hand, but Collins takes the punches as the bell goes to end that round. Eubank punches the air, but Steve Collins here is having a very big night at the moment. And that's the way that the family are responding to it all. Living every single second. There are 9 minutes remaining for Chris Eubank to salvage his WBO Super Middleweight Championship. And this is 15th defense, and the right hand's got Collins! The right hand's got Collins! Mandatory 8 count, and another twist in the plot. He's okay, I think.
He looked at the corner and said he was okay straight away, but he went down heavy. It was a good right hand.
But was that a massive turning point? There's Eubank's answer for you. Never doubt this man's championship spirit. Now, has Collins' head really cleared? Or has Eubank got him going? It was right at the start of the round. There's a long time left in this 10th round. Collins is trying to dance. Eubank is digging in some hurtful-looking punches now.
Collins moving around, trying to get these few vital extra seconds. But another good
right and a left. Collins must somehow get through this round. That might have taken quite a bit out of him. And I wonder whether just one more punch like that from Eubank may make the crisis a very deep and alarming one indeed for Steve Collins.
Yes, his legs still don't look solid. He's trying to bounce around on them. He's trying to get something back into them. But he was caught with 2 good right hands.
Eubank is talking to him in there. What do you think he's saying?
I think he's just trying to lull him into a false sense of security. He's trying to bring Collins in, trying to make him make a mistake so he can counter.
They're both saying, come on, come on. I think they both want the other to lead so that they can counter. 2 old pros, and a knowing smile, I think, passed between them for a split second there. As so always when there's angry words in the build-up as they work to this fight. These two gaining an extremely healthy respect for each other.
Stop punching. Step back, please. Outside.
Should Eubank be really going for it here?
I think he should. I think he doesn't realise. He thinks he's maybe closer than I think it is. Good right uppercut there.
This is a big round for Eubank, but has he really cashed in on that initiative? He's stepped back, and Collins has had some vital time to just let his head clear and just get his foothold back in the fight. So he was in trouble in the early seconds of the round, and I was kind of expecting a Eubank barrage really for the rest of the round. That has not happened. That was a slip. Nothing more as the bell goes, but that was a 10-8 round for Chris Eubank.
Go forward, stop him.
Ronnie Davis in the corner.
You've got to stop him. Come on.
Go forward and stop him, says Ronnie Davis. I think they sense that Eubank still will probably be behind on the scorecards, but that certainly will have cut back Collins' advantage that last round. And there's only 6 minutes left now. Well, I did wonder whether we were going to have another of those close calls tonight, and we might be heading that way again. There is Glenn McCrory's card. Steve Collins, he still has 3 points ahead. That's, of course, extremely unofficial. It's the two Puerto Ricans and British judge Roy Francis who will score this.
Yes, and you get the feeling in the corner when Ronnie Davis left Chris Eubank there that Ronnie Davis still thought he had a bit to do. Maybe he'll live to regret not taking his opportunity in the 10th round.
Interestingly, Glenn, we've just done a little straw poll among some of the pressmen at ringside. They've got it very close. Few of them have Eubank a round up. And this is so much, of course, a matter of opinion.
Yes, lots of the early rounds were very close.
And a lot may depend on how they were scored by the judges. All the shoulder of Eubank crashing into the jaw of Collins there. All part of the rough and tumble. Collins made to miss, hopelessly, and caught by the jab. Sharper work from Eubank here. He looks tired now, Collins. Arm punches from him. And Eubank looks the stronger man to me at this stage.
He does, and Eubank's making him miss better as well this round.
Ronnie Davis there in the corner. Works with him every day. Wondering how this one's going to go. Eubank takes a deep breath and contemplates his next move. Better punches now from Eubank, really sharp jab. Oh, that was a good right back though from Collins.
He's recovered very, very well. But Eubank making a miss there. Good defense. But not with that right hand.
We're really into the home stretch now. Collins, after starting impressively, is taking increasingly more punches. There's a much sharper look about Eubank's work, and he must surely have taken that round.
Yes, I think he got that round. He certainly thinks he has. He's walking around with a smile on his face, punching the air.
Eubank
3 rounds behind.
has the look of a man who believes he has this in the bag.
But listen to Ronnie Davis, he's saying you're 3 rounds behind, you've got to stop him to win this fight.
It's all on this round, boy.
Now, so many conflicting opinions here.
Do what I say. 3 rounds behind. You've got to stop him, mate.
I don't know whether Ronnie Davis believes he's 3 rounds behind, or whether he's just trying to urge his man into one last effort. It must be pretty close again here as they touch gloves. The final 3 minutes. But one thing strikes me, try telling this big Irish crowd that Collins is not ahead. But the press, or a few of them anyway, think Eubank might be leading. Eubank, who's really letting the punches rip in this last round. Collins looks very, very tired now.
Yes, he's tired and he's taking shots, and the crowd trying to will him on.
He looks like a man who might have fought his fight, Collins. And look at this, guts, he comes back, and Eubank really does want to have a tear up with him now. Sensing that he may be behind, and there's a butt in there as well from Eubank, as well as the right hand. Some finish. There certainly was a clash of heads in there as Eubank charged in. Oh, big right from Eubank. Collins took it very, very well indeed. Just as we were indicating earlier, so often the case, Eubank finishes in storming style quite often.
It certainly is a tremendous last round to a tremendous fight.
Inside the last 90 seconds of the contest. Now there's a cut by the left eye of Collins. It's too late to matter. How are the judges scoring it? Decent left uppercut in there, almost thrown off balance by Steve Collins. Both of them dredging up the last pieces of strength. Eubank holds his hands aloft as if to say to this crowd, I'm in control of this now.
I still feel Eubank needs something very big. Can he deliver?
Are you watching the last moments of Chris Eubank's reign, or has he done enough again? Cut by the eye of Collins gets worse, but there are only seconds left now. And this is going to be a cliffhanger. It's surely going to the judges. You can hardly hear yourself thinking here now. The crowd trying to urge Collins through this last half a minute. These last 6 minutes must have seemed like an eternity to him. He's been fighting really on instinct, with the batteries going ever flatter. For the last couple of rounds, they both hold up their hands aloft. Who's got that? We shall see. Barry Hearn shakes his head at Eubank as if he thought he might not have won it. There's a despondent look about Ronnie Davis as well. Collins' camp think they have the decision. Now, what about you, Glenn? How did you score that?
Well, I thought the last round was a Eubank round, but I think Collins has won the fight by 1 point.
There's Mum. Is this a great night for her son? We're going to get the decision any moment, I think.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Roy Francis scored the contest 114 to 116. Judge Cesar Ramos scores the contest 111 to 115. And Judge Isabel Fernandez scores the contest 113 to 114. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner and the new...
Collins has won it! Steve Collins carries out his pledge and inflicts the first defeat ever on Chris Eubank. The judges seeing it by 2 rounds, 4 rounds and 1 rounds respectively. Eubank is beaten for the first time ever, and this time the judges did not save him. What a night! Congratulations to Steve Collins. What a breakthrough for him. And here is the new champion, Steve Collins. Steve, what a night for you that.
I had no doubt I was going to win. Those people who did doubt me, I forgive them. It's not your fault. Don't believe in the hype. Believe in the man, Steve Collins. I'm not just the best Irish fighter ever. I'm the best pound for pound in the world. Roy Jones. Who's next?
Did you feel at the end of that, Steve, that you had won it, that you were clear after the knockdown in the 10th?
No doubt I'd win. I'd no doubt I'd win. No doubt at all. I haven't fought for 10.5 months, and look how easy I fought tonight. I've been inactive for nearly 11 months.
How much was an influence was your hypnotist? There was a lot made of that before the fight. How big a factor was that?
We fooled the world. Tony Quinn is a good friend of mine. I was out in Vegas on my own due to not managerial problems, but my trainer was caught up with hair behind. I had to go to Vegas on my own. I needed company. The pressure was on. I brought Tony Quinn with me, put my mind at ease, helped me out while I was there alone, and confirmed what I always knew, that I would win the world title.